So here you are, a self-made YouTuber. You've taken the time to teach yourself how to use a camera. You've taken the time to teach yourself how to light. You've taken the time to figure out how to move the camera. You've taken the time to learn how to edit. You've taken the time to learn how to color grade. The final step of this puzzle in making you stand out and making you more unique is teaching yourself how to write your own music. And that's exactly what I plan to do in this video series. Let's go. So composing your own music seems like a lot. And think back when you started to learn how to color grade or edit, everything seems like a lot. It's not that much harder than color grading. It's not that much harder than editing. It just seems like it from afar because there's not a lot of information on it. But the thing that you'll notice as we get into this is a lot of the things you've learned as an editor or a color grader, they transfer over. You have to learn the different ways to implement those things. You'll find that you're kind of already 25 to 35% of the way prepared to write your own music just from learning how to edit your own videos and color grade. I'll often use video production related terms because I know that makes sense to me and it'll probably make sense to all of you watching. So I have links in the description of the video for everything that I'm talking about. So all that out of the way, now let's just dive into the point of this video. 5 things you will need to start writing your own music. Number 1, Pro Tools. Pro Tools is your Premiere Pro. Now there's other programs that might be better for your situation. So I encourage you to look into it. And in later videos, we'll get into, the ins and outs of Pro Tools. But for now, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Avid and sign up for a Pro Tools subscription, download it, install it. There you go. You have your Premiere Pro. Number 2, MIDI controller or your keyboard. This is your instrument. This is what you're going to be using to write your stuff. So there's a lot of different routes you could take. I personally suggest the M Audio 88 key MIDI controller. I've had that one since the beginning, so probably 8 years, and it's been fine. This plugs into your computer via USB 2.0. So I believe you'll need a USB 2.0 cable to go along with that. So Pro Tools and your MIDI controller. The next thing you need is an audio interface. This is kind of like taking a sound card and handling everything outside of your computer, because most computers don't ship with great sound cards. Like what you're probably working with your laptop or your desktop probably isn't the best. I personally have the Focusrite Scarlett Solo 2. It's $100. It connects via USB 3.0. There's a little more data going through it, which is good. We want that. It's powered via the USB 3.0, so you don't need a power cable. All you need is just this audio interface, USB 3.0, go into your computer. It's set up. So 3 things so far. Pro Tools, that's your Premiere Pro. Then your keyboard plugs in via USB 2.0 directly to your computer. Then the audio interface, which is essentially like an external sound card, connect it via USB 3.0 to your computer. Next, headphones. I personally suggest the Bayer Dynamic DT770 80 ohm studio headphones. They're really great for mixing, mastering, and those plug right into your Focusrite Scarlett Solo 2 audio interface. The 5th thing you will need is an iLok key. Now, this is the annoying thing with Pro Tools, but they require this little USB device that you load the license onto, and you need it plugged in all the time. So that's 5 things you need to start composing your own music. Pro Tools, keyboard, audio interface, headphones, and an iLok key. And then the next step is samples. And this is kind of like opening a can of worms, because these are the sounds. These can be pianos, French horns, guitars. These can be drums. These can be anything. I've probably spent $20,000 on samples over the past 8 years or so, and you can get lost in it. And I've made some great purchases and I've made some bad purchases, spent, $1,000 on samples that I never use. And there's so many options out there for samples. There's different companies that do different things well. There's diamonds in the rough. And believe it or not, Marika, my wife, and Hannah, my younger sister, are starting up their own sample company called Clever Girls Audio, a little Jurassic Park reference. And I'm kind of I'm trying to stay out of it and let them do their own thing, but also, I'm suggesting things because I want to use the samples. So for the next video, involving samples, I'm going to suggest other companies, right? But the first thing I'm going to do is take you to this new website that my wife and my younger sister are working on, because they'll have a sample pack that you can test drive, right? And so that's pretty cool. That's pretty important. And I suggested that specifically for this tutorial series, is I wanted, they could kind of get their foot in the door in the sample game if they had a free demo of a thing that you guys could try out, and if it was really high quality and blah, blah, blah. So the next video will be fairly extensive, and I'll point you in the right direction while also giving you some samples for free. So that's pretty much it. 5 things you will need to start writing your own music. I strongly suggest that if you guys want to follow along in this journey, get those 5 things now, and then the next video, you can just follow along in real time. And then also, I hate to say this, I've never done it before, but like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Bell. Did you hit the bell? I'm not leaving until you hit the bell. Did you hit the bell? I'm not leaving until you hit the bell. Did you hit the bell? Bell. I'm not leaving until you hit the bell. I'm not leaving until you hit the bell. My finger's shaking. I can wait all day.